Are you ready to perform at your highest potential? Thank you for joining this GP Strategies webinar, where we'll explore best practices and innovative insights to help you and your organization improve performance.
Hello, and welcome to today's on-demand webinar, Why External Partnerships for Project Management Make Sense. Thank you for joining us today. I want to introduce you to our presenter, Lindsay Panetta, business consultant with GP Strategies. Lindsay, welcome.
Thanks very much, Kim. I appreciate it. So for today, we're going to hit some of these key objectives during our session. The aim is to make this time as valuable as possible with insights that you can apply immediately to your organization. One of the main things to consider when you are looking at partnering for external program or project management support are some of the challenges that come with in-house project management or program management. Based on experience of myself, of organizations that I've worked with, of colleagues, these are the top 4 challenges that we have most commonly seen with in-house program and project management. Number 1 is limited internal resources and expertise. Number 2 is increased costs of hiring and training project or program managers. Number 3 is the risk of project delays and inefficiencies. And number 4 is the lack of objectivity. And we're going to talk a little bit more about these as we progress. One interesting piece of data that I wanted to share with you is a kind of a live example about how using project management partnerships to increase engagement or to help with job performance drivers might actually benefit an organization. So according to a recent engagement survey with GP using 8,500 plus individuals across 9 organizations, we saw a collective understanding of key drivers of low engagement and increased flight risk. Basically, these were individuals that on a survey said that they were less likely to remain with the organization. And some of the top indicators for that were inadequate staff, lack of work efficiencies, and lack of process improvements. And you can see that from the pie chart showing here. External partnerships can really help solve these issues by bringing on dedicated and effective project management staff to help support current work, streamline processes, and encourage overall job performance. So basically, it's taking some heavy lifting off of staff that may feel as though they don't have the capacity, as well as being able to look at the organization from a different vantage point as not being part of the company itself. Some of the key benefits of outsourcing project management and doing an external partnership are kind of broken down into these areas. So for example, access to expertise. This is particularly valuable for niche projects. So those that are more difficult to be able to find that key expertise in a specific area or job function. And this is also not only in just project and program management itself, but also looking at the wealth of experience that an external partner can bring in many different industries, such as automotive, financial, the airline industry, military, healthcare, hospitality, and other such organizations. It can also provide input on strategic decision-making and direction due to the vantage point that we've talked about and perspective within the organization. Cost efficiency is another. For example, not paying for onboarding costs and other benefits like health insurance or retirement plans or paid time off actually help reduce overhead and operational costs for an organization. Scalability and flexibility. So partnering for specific projects or short-term needs and scaling your workforce up or down as needed. Also having the ability to connect internal departments. So in my personal experience, I have found that having an external partnership has allowed me to be able to bring individuals from different departments together, to be able to work more strategically together, to be able to reach the goals. And I've also found that people are very willing to be able to discuss changes to business needs that might be needed or specific areas, pain points, and that kind of thing that an external project manager can assist with. Improve focus. External partners typically require less onboarding and training time compared to full-time employees, which allows them to start contributing more quickly. They're also separated from organizational politics, so external partners provide more clarity and transparent communication, and there are no competing priorities. They're hired to focus on a specific project or program, and that is what they're there for. Risk mitigation is another one. External partners will adhere to and comply with the requirements of an organization as outlined in their agreed contract. So there's better compliance and less risk issues when you are partnering externally. And finally, innovation. External partners often bring innovative solutions and new perspectives to projects. They also use the latest project management software and tools, which can streamline processes and introduce new efficient ways of working. So when should you consider an external partnership? Because it feels like it could be a daunting task or, how do I know when it's time? So some of the things to consider, if you think back to the data that was shared a few slides ago, some of those concerns are reasons to consider an external project management partnership. So large scale or complex projects which require specialized skills. So when there are particularly large or complex projects, those skill sets may not be available in-house. And so external project manager partners bring expertise and experience in handling those types of projects and ensuring that they are completed efficiently and effectively. Short-term or temporary needs. So for example, if you have a short-term project or a defined end date that you need to hit to release a particular piece of software or technology enhancement or compliance requirement, hiring a full-time staff may not necessarily be the answer because it's a temporary or short-term need. So outsourcing project management allows companies to bring in experts for the duration of the project without a long-term commitment. This flexibility helps manage costs and resources more effectively. And one of the biggest ones is if you're experiencing resource constraints, most organizations and their full-time employees are across multiple projects, working across multiple departments, and really have a lot of separate foci that they need to concentrate on. When your internal teams are stretched thin or lack the capacity to take on anything additional, any new initiatives or projects, outsourcing really might be a viable option and a viable solution. So external project managers can step in to handle the workload, ensuring that projects stay on track without overburdening existing staff. This can also help prevent burnout and maintain productivity across the organization. So again, being one of the top indicators of why someone might leave an organization in the past slide that we shared, this really helps to alleviate that one in particular. And then finally, a digital transformation or technology implementation project. Those types of projects specifically often require a high level of expertise and familiarity with the latest technologies. And given the rise with AI and predictive analytics and machine learning, having the ability to bring in someone who might have that experience and understanding is going to be very valuable for the organization. So someone who specializes in the areas can provide the necessary guidance and support to ensure successful implementation. So how are you selecting the right project management partner? So there are some key factors to consider. Experience and expertise, as we've discussed. Methodologies. So what is the approach that you might want to take? Some projects are very good using a more traditional waterfall where one task follows another. Some are really important to be more agile in their approach where there needs to be a little bit more fluidity and movement. And then what industry knowledge, including tools and technologies, would you feel would be vital to have for your project? So those are the factors to consider when looking at selecting the right project management partner. And these factors are important because when you understand the external partner's expertise and track record in your specific industry, it can help you gauge the suitability of that partnership. And knowing their approach to project management and communication ensures that their methods will align with your expectations. You don't want to have a project that requires agility and yet bring in an external partner that only has expertise in a waterfall type of approach and vice versa. And knowing what tools and technologies that the external partner will use will help you assess whether they can integrate into your systems. So understanding how your own internal systems work and what you're looking for in the right project management partner. So sort of how we discussed just a moment ago, but asking yourself these types of questions before you're selecting the project management partner is going to be important. And this helps create a personalized experience for your organization and tailors the needs for your specific company. So think about what specifically would you need project management support with. And this helps streamline finding that right project management resource and external partner, including their skill sets, experience, and those types of things. So what are you requiring for the industry experience? Are you in hospitality and you need someone who has worked with hospitality industries before? Do you want to see case studies of types of projects that are similar to the one that you're looking for? How much money are you able to spend and what are you looking for? Are you looking to bring somebody on who would kind of replace a resource within the organization? Or are you looking for a consultative strategic partner? What types of things are you looking for that specific project? One example I wanted to give of my own experience is working with Invesco QQQ on a technology-based project. So I worked as an external partner with this large investment banking firm in New York City as a program manager, and myself and our team internal to GP Strategies, as well as internal to Invesco QQQ, we helped them develop a game design and functionality to create financial literacy for individuals aged 18 to 25 as the target audience. And we partnered with the NCAA to be able to be marketed more broadly. The game is called How Not to Suck at Money, which is quite an amusing title, but it really does resonate with that group. And it's won a total of 20 awards for learning related content for the game, including Brandon Hall Awards, Learning Technology Awards. The advantages of having the program management support, and this is also feedback from the client, it helped bring together several departments, both internal to the company as well as external, so within GP Strategies. For example, we had an artist and illustrator, Jose Mendez, who has worked previously with brands like Apple and Converse to help bring in the artwork that you see in the game. It was ensuring on-time deliverables. We had tight deadlines due to regulatory requirements within the financial industry. It helped ensure regulation compliance alignment with Invesco, QQQ, and governing bodies by providing extensive quality assurance processes to the client, well documented for all the regulating bodies that were required. So we were able to work with those bodies, work with the client, and work internally to be able to bring all of those pieces together. We contribute extensively to the overall strategic direction and development of the game's content, messaging, marketing, and development. We help meet with board members and senior leadership to discuss planning and budgeting for future enhancements. We discussed how this was going to be marketed at conferences, how we could partner with the NCAA to be able to do so as well. And we provide data-driven guidance for content development and game functionality based on analyzing the data and game-generated user feedback. So using that data-driven approach was possible, and it was through the program management support that we provided that we were able to give those insights to Invesco leadership so they could be able to continue to make those decisions moving forward. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time and hope everyone found some interesting information in the presentation here, and look forward to hearing from each and every one of you.
Thank you, Lindsay. I found that case study so interesting. I need that for my children. Great job. I really appreciate your time and all of the information that you provided us. That was very valuable. And I want to thank everyone who's listened to this to make sure that you join us for another one of our webinars or any of our on-demand resources at gpstrategies.com/resources. Thank you again, and I wish everyone a wonderful rest of your day.
This webinar was brought to you by GP Strategies. Together, we help organizations transform through their people. You can access more webinars or download additional resources by visiting the GP Strategies Resource Library. The link is on your screen and in the description.